Hello everybody, my name's Charlie and it's January 2015 and I want to share some past history about when I used to be clinically obese and how I lost more than 70 pounds, which is more than 30 kilograms, I believe. It's roughly about, I lost more than 5 stone, but I want to tell you about that section first. When I was a kid, I just was very plump, and everybody said that, oh, it was puppy fat, and I'll grow out of it, but I didn't. I just sort of grew and grew and grew and grew, and I was quite an early developing teenager, and I guess by the time I was 12, I was fitting into my mum's clothes. So I was a size 12 when I was 12 years old, and I got all the way up to a size 22. And that was when I was 16. That was my biggest point at nearly 14.5 stone. I guess I'm quite nervous about making this video because it's quite a personal subject to talk about. But it's important because despite losing all of that weight, I've actually gained nearly half of it back on, which doesn't make me feel that bad. I thought it would once upon a time. I thought if I even gained half a stone, I'd have a nervous breakdown. But it turns out my life went in a different direction and different ideas about happiness. But anyway, it's time for me to take responsibility, get some of my weight back off, beat the bulge. We've had a very nice Christmas, and I've been eating my face off. I love food. I love food probably more than the average person, but that's probably a bit cheeky to say. I think everybody loves their food. My body just gains weight. If I have a chocolate bar, you can literally see it. It just sort of appears on one bit of my body. One of my New Year's resolutions is to get back down to a healthier weight. Just one that makes me feel a little bit more confident and makes me feel better in my clothes. At the moment, I can't really get into any of my clothes. I can't even get into my mum's clothes. My mum's smaller than I am now. So I need to sort it out. And I'm heading back out to Ghana next week. So losing weight in England and how I lost the 5 stone, it's different to losing weight in a West African country like Ghana. In some ways it's a bit easier and in some other ways it's a bit more difficult. So I want to create this video blog series to hopefully have a bit more of a support network for myself and also be able to literally day by day go through a journey with anybody out there who, if you feel like you want to lose 3 pounds, 7 pounds, 8 stone, I'm pretty confident that I can help you do that. So I'm proud of how I've kept the weight down, but there's an interesting psychology going on. So if you imagine, I went from being clinically obese to being quite foxy, a size 8 to 10. I was probably happiest at a size 10. I did lose a little bit too much weight at one point, but I quickly pulled it back. And now I'm 11 stone and about 5 pounds, so I'm just under 11.5 stone. And at my smallest weight, when I was the smallest I've ever been, it was 8 stone 12. But for me, 8 stone 12 for my height, I'm about 5'4". And I know that people say it's a fallacy, but I do actually have quite a big frame. I naturally have quite big hips, and I've always had a very broad back, broad shoulders. So I'm quite, I don't think 8 stone 12 looked good. At the time I did, but you don't want to get down to a stage where you're counting your ribs because then the psychology goes off the radar, it goes through the way. So I quickly pulled that back and my happiest weight is 9 stone 7. It's just the weight where I feel good, I've still got my curves, my face doesn't go to like that. I think it's always nice for women, my personal opinion is that girls, we need to still be women. We don't want to be sticks. We don't want to be like the runway models. Obviously, they're very beautiful, but the stick thin look just doesn't work for everybody's bodies. It just doesn't look right. I've naturally got very large hips. I've always had big boobs, and yeah, I like to feel feminine. So the first episode is just going to be a bit of background about my previous weight loss. I'm trying to actually dig out some, I might ask my mum, I wanted to dig out some before photos from when I was 16, when I was a size 22, because I did actually get rid of most of them because I just felt very embarrassed about my weight at one point, and I just hid all the evidence as soon as I started to finally lose weight. But there is a newspaper clipping, because in my northern town I did actually get into one of the newspapers. My story did anyway. I've got lots of after pictures from when I was stick thin. Some of them I'll put in now. There you go. So where do we start? Obviously, we all know that everybody has a difference in metabolism, in habits. It's very difficult to give direct advice about how you should run your diet or your exercise, because the first thing to recognise is that everybody's different, and everybody has different habits, different taste buds, different metabolisms, and different tastes when it comes to exercise, and basically just physical activity. And I must admit, one of the hardest things to deal with now is that if I tell a friend or somebody, I'm thinking about doing some exercise or doing this, or I'm walking today because I want to lose some weight, because I'm not drastically as fat as I was, even people who don't even know about my history, they'll always say, oh, don't be stupid, Charlie, you look fine, you don't need to lose weight. And I feel pretty guilty when I'm talking, or if I'm accidentally talking in front of somebody who's bigger than me. I sometimes feel a bit wrong about saying, I need to get back to my good weight, because they would kind of look at me like, yeah, you're fine. So right now I'm sort of like a larger size 12, which really is not the end of the world. And I think that's what I found quite difficult, especially over the past few months, when I've thought, oh, it's fine, I can just drop back and I can shit 3 pounds, excuse my language. But when I've been quite complacent about it. But mentally, if people are telling you that you're fine, you're beautiful, you don't need to lose any weight, that you're overreacting, you sort of, half of you wants to agree with them, going like, well, yeah, I'm not as bad as I was. And, if anything, when I look in the mirror now, I look at my body with more confidence sometimes, or not even more confidence, but I look at myself thinking, oh, it's not that bad, because I'm never going to be as bad, hopefully, as I once was. But that doesn't mean that I can just relax, because if I relax, then one day I'll wake up and I'll be 14.5 stone again and a size 22. And I think that that's wrong. I think that you need to be aware when you have lost weight before that I don't want to go back to being that person. And I might have grown up, it might have been 10 years ago since I was utterly miserable. But at the same time, I still want to be healthy. I still want to enjoy my life. I still want to look good. And you know what, even if you just want to lose half a stone, go for it, because it's how you feel. And as much as I really appreciate people's kind comments and telling me, oh, it's all right, don't worry, you're fine, it's very sweet of people to say that. And to, I do agree that not everybody needs to lose weight, and that we shouldn't all conform to this idea of, that sort of stereotypical idea of a woman. I do understand that. But then again, I'll go through my points. I'll go through my points in the next video. I've got 10 points of what you need to think about and do before we embark on this series and this journey. But you might have people saying, oh, don't be silly, you don't need to lose weight. But you know yourself, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. I know that I need to slim down a bit, because I don't particularly love what I see. I don't hate myself. I don't think, oh my God, I'm awful. Because I'm not. I try and make the best of myself always. I've got people who love me for who I am. My boyfriend loves me for who I am massively. So, I'm not at dire straits, but again, that probably gives me the clarity of understanding where I'm at. And those same people who are complimenting me now and saying I'm fine, when I do, lose a stone or, stone and a half, whatever, they'll be the first people to jump in and say, oh wow, you look really, really good. So yeah, if you've gained weight before, lost it, and now if you're creeping back up, again, use this video just to be more aware of it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with either. Let's get on with it.